Decision 2008. What are we going to do? When are these guys going to decide? When are these superdelegates going to just, like, have some conviction and just go for it, you know? Just like, when are they going to be a man? Former Senator John Edwards ran against Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama for the Democratic presidential nomination. Today, he's working with the group Half in 10 to fight poverty, which was one of your major platforms. Have I set you up enough for an answer?
You did great. I think you're just tired of talking about this.
You know, I'll tell you, you talked to Matt Lauer, and he said to you, did you vote? And you said, I did vote, and I'll keep that with me. So who you voted for is who you'll endorse?
I'd say highly likely, yes.
So
I'm closer. I'm closer.
Let's just ask the question and get this over with. Who'd you vote for? Who are you going to endorse?
You got to tell me.
For now, to myself. Just for now.
Why?
Just for now. Well, just because it feels like the right thing to do. I mean, I think that I said this to Matt this morning. I think that people like you and people on television act like these endorsements are a big deal. I may have missed something, but I think Barack Obama's doing pretty well without my endorsement.
I think an endorsement from you is a big deal. I mean, you were in the race, and everyone's kind of watching and listening. I mean, there's some endorsements we probably don't care about. Yours we do.
Well, maybe you do. I don't think most voters.
Let me ask you this. Sorry, hold on, Shuster.
Yeah.
Did you and your wife vote for the same person?
Oh, I'm not answering that.
Because that would put the puzzle together for me.
Yeah, I know. You're working the edges of this. I got it. Yeah.
I know this.
I'll let you ask her that.
Maybe if you take us through your thinking. Obviously, you feel that now is not the time. What about people who suggest that you want to sort of hold on to the idea of being sort of a broker who can help bring this to an end when the time is appropriate? Is that what is motivating you to sort of hold your fire right now?
That is an absurd concept. I mean, really. The notion that a failed presidential candidate has that kind of power is absurd.
Then why not endorse? Why not just come out today and say who you voted for and who you're going to endorse?
Well,
what's holding you back, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Well, it is the truth that I have enormous respect for both of them. I do. I mean, I watched them during the time that I was competing with them. They both have huge assets. I've watched Senator Clinton against overwhelming odds over the last few weeks show a strength and resilience that I admire it. I admit it. I've been through this. I know how tough it is. And then I've watched Barack Obama come out of nowhere, which is basically what he did, and he is clearly the likely nominee at this point.
Senator Edwards, there's a lot of voters. They have a lot of things going on in their lives: mortgages, kids, et cetera, et cetera. They can't spend time like we do. Football, exactly. Sports and watching the brawls. They can't spend a lot of time figuring out every little issue that might be important to them. Right. So endorsements from people like you, who are superdelegates, who are elected officials, give them guidance. So why don't superdelegates, or why haven't they, including yourself, endorse someone?
Well, I didn't say I wouldn't. I think it's just a question of when. And secondly, I still think that voters make their own judgments. I mean, I've watched in the various states that the primaries...
But they want all the information they can get.
I agree with that. I think that's true. And I also think a lot of voters, while they care about the war, the economy, et cetera, there are also going to be an awful lot of voters. I've lived through this. Nobody has to explain it to me. I've been through a general election. I know what it's like. And there are going to be an awful lot of voters who decide who they're going to vote for in November based on their gut. You know, how do they feel about this candidate? How do they feel about the other candidate? It's going to be an interesting process.
There's been a lot of talk about how Hillary Clinton is campaigning now. I think nobody here thinks that she necessarily ought to stop. I think the issue that a lot of superdelegates have is when she challenges Barack Obama to a debate in Oregon, when her staff says things like, how come he's not coming to West Virginia? The argument becomes not so much about here's why I am the most electable, it becomes here's why this guy is not electable. Do you see any problem with that?
I think that they've been in a tough fight, and it's hard to change, to move off of that. You know, I think about when I made the decision to get out of the race, you know, and I was accumulating delegates, continuing to get, you know, votes and actually doing reasonably well. But it became pretty clear to me that I was not going to be the nominee. And I believed that since it looked like I wasn't going to win, number one, and number two, because I believed that it was better for the process to end sooner rather than later, that I was not being helpful to our party and to our cause, more importantly.
But then that's important. I mean, look what you just said, and now let's look at what's happening, and I want to play something for you. I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, but I do want to hear from you on this.
Sure.
Hillary Clinton talking about working class white voters and how she has a hold on them. Take a listen.
Yeah.
There was just an AP article posted that found how Senator Obama's support among working hardworking Americans, white Americans, is weakening again, and how the whites in both states who had not completed college were supporting me, and in independence, I was running even with him and doing even better with Democratic-leaning independents. I have a much broader base to build a winning coalition on.
Here's what worries me, and that is that there could be a more insidious undermining between these two, given the dimensions between them that are so historic and so new to this country.
Yes, yes.
Does that concern you?
That's a very legitimate question, and I think this is my perspective, nothing but that. But I think it's fine for Hillary to keep making the case for her. I think when that shifts to her contention about everything that's supposed to be wrong with him, and I don't agree with some of what you just said, by the way, but I think that then we're starting to do damage instead of being helpful.
But aren't we? Then haven't we reached that point then?